All right, new stuff. It's 16th of November. It's Sunday. Um, I can't remember if I told you about the Lexus. We got it back like a bunch of time ago, but it was like for over half a year, 6 months or almost seven, at the shop getting its axles changed because they had rust in them and you can't weld them. I think in Finland, at least what I've heard is that you can weld old axles like the ones for the Viva that I have here, but the newer cars you can't weld them. And the only thing why the old ones can be welded is because they don't make them anymore, the axles and parts for the cars anymore. But for the Ford, I have a new thing. It's Sunday now. I ordered this on Friday and it came yesterday. So it was a very quick post thing, which is weird. So if you remember, the Ford has its like original wheels. Now these are the PCD on the Ford Taunus 17M is 5 times 112, and these change the PCD to 5 times 120. And actually, I don't think in the last video I never showed you guys what the rims I have in store for the Ford. So these will be the rear rims. Obviously the tires are going to change. These are just whoops. Yeah, I really have to clean up in here. So all sorts of stuff here, as you can see. I mean, when you do stuff, it kind of gets out of control pretty quickly, since it's a really small garage. If I had like double the size of the garage, well, maybe the place would still get into a mess. Anyway, these were some studded tires that I think I paid like under 50 euros. I'll have to check, but I think it was like 50 euros or something. And a friend of mine got them from the guy who sold them, who then transported it. No, it was my parents got the wheels from him, and then my wife's parents got the wheels from my parents and brought them over here. So it was a nice logistical nightmare. These are going to be the front rims, and I painted them since they were, I think I might have a photograph, so I'll put it here if I have it still, what they looked before and what they look like now. For the front, obviously I'm not going to use the studded tires in the summer, but with the Ford, it came with 4 new tires, which, let's see, it's 175/80 14. So I'll take 2 of these and they'll go on the front. The rear ones will have to be way wider, since I don't know. Wow. Let's see if I can somehow get this. Well, they're not side by side, but we can see that obviously this one is way skinnier than this one. I'll see what the size of these were. Oh, 235 60 14. And the PCD of this, the 120, these should have a 5 by 5, so 5 inches, which is, I think it was 120.6 millimeters or whatever it's in. Jesus Christ. The front Rims I painted front and back because they have a hole through them which you can see through, but these rear ones they don't have a hole, so it's, I mean, these have pretty good chrome, the rear ones on them, but I don't know, I think the red will suit the car when it's finished. Anyway, that's good. I was kind of thinking if, yep, that's just perfect in my opinion. So all it needs is these studs, or the bolts here, and the place I bought these from, I mean, in the box, it had studs that go through these, but since the Ford already has studs on it, I'll need to get what's it called? Bolts? Are they bolts? There's a bolt like the one with the screw thing, or wait, I'm talking about the round thing that goes here. What's it called? Nut. Yeah. So I'll have to see what the size of these nuts are. I mean, bolts are, and then either if the car has this type of nut on it, I can just screw this on, screw the wheel on this, but the nut I need on the car will have to be a lowered nut that stays within this, since this is a 2-inch spacer, and the studs on the car are 2 inches long, which I measured before I bought these, that I can't I can't put a 15 mil spacer on the car because the nuts would then be like over here. So yeah, I think we'll be bolting these on when winter's over. Yesterday we got the snow. I can show it to you in a bit, but that's still a little bit of snow, but there's gonna be more. Anyway, yeah, that's the whole idea for the rear. But also, obviously, the front will need these kind of spacer thingies as well to change the PCD. But since they're skinnier, the tires, I can put them a bit out, a bit more than with the rear ones, since these will be just enough to be in line with this side of the car with the spacer. So I think a 25 mil spacer for the front is okay. Still haven't bought that, but that's gonna be a thing for another day. Here's the front axle right now of the Viva. I've been pretty much working on this for a good amount of time. This is the one from the car when I took it off. This is the new one that's gonna go on. So I pretty much gotten almost all the parts off. So this is rear facing this part here. I'm having trouble with the left side shock absorber. This is like, it's stuck. This is just a bigger piece of nut that I put on the bolt that goes through. So if I hit it with a hammer, I don't accidentally hit this and bend it. But on the other side, I ground out the head of the bolt, and I've started drilling it, since it's like stuck stuck in there. And yeah, I cut the shock absorber from here because I thought I'd get more leverage to then get it, squiggling, but it's not moving anywhere, so I'll just have to see how it comes out. And yeah, these parts will have to be welded. I might even have to get these to some guy somewhere. I'll put maybe like a thing on the internet and ask someone who is a real welder that could get them so they look nice and everything. The other side isn't as bad as the other one, but still. What else? Yeah, well, these need to come off so we get the lower arms off, and then we need to change all the bushings still. So that's pretty much where I'm at. And I'm hoping that today we'll get something going forward. I mean, I spent like 10 hours in the last 2 weekends trying to get these bolts and nuts out. I had to finally get a small, what's it called, a grinding wheel, and cut a few of the bolts out so the things would come off. But the upper part, which is still the one bolt, I can't really access it with a grinding wheel or anything else, so I'll just have to pretty much try and pound it or drill it or something to get it out. So that's gonna be an issue there. But yeah, let's keep going with this and see where we end up today. Alright, finally after 2 hours I got it off. Not using the microphone now. The weird thing about it, this is the thing that I got off, and this is from the right side, which I got off first. So as we can see, let me see if I can, the bushing, or like this, the metal thingy inside the sleeve is made of one full piece on this side. And on this side, it's not. It's cut from the metal, which probably is why it was rusty. I just managed to get the grinding wheel, but I couldn't cut it through since it didn't have enough space to get in through the hole. But yeah, I think this was why it was so hard to get off. I think more moisture and just that it's this much apart more than the other one, it was tougher to get out. So, all right, next, I think we'll have to tackle these, and then we have pretty much all the parts off except for these, which I need a bigger wrench. I don't have a wrench big enough to get these huge nuts off from here, so that'll be for another time. But yeah, I'll try and get those off still. The next problem I'm having is getting these lower control arms, or whatever they're called, off, since they're all, rusted in there. So I have to go and buy I think it's called a sawzall or something, like thing that goes up and down with a little saw thingy. So it cuts the bolt from there. I can't get the grinding wheel to fit in there, so that's out of the question, and I don't want to break the axle, So I think the sawzall blade is going to be flexible enough to get past the metal here. Jesus Christ, boy. Also, last time I got the Ford running, there was this sound. I'll play it after this thing, but if you know what it is, please do tell. I haven't started the car since. I think either something's broken and we'll have to switch the engine out from that car too, or then it's just some loose nut somewhere or something. But yeah, here we go. Listen to it and tell me what you think down in the comments. All right, it's the 27th of December, Saturday after Christmas. Welcome aboard again. This time, we have the Sawzall thingy as a loan. And then actually I got a few different things for myself for Christmas. And I think today we'll be taking a look at the Ford. So first things first, we're gonna cut off the lower parts with the Sawzall from the axle, so we get those things. Then we'll take a look at what we have, the new stuff. You know, it's been quite the Christmas. All right, so I got this auto body fender set with different kinds of hammers and dollies, I think. Yeah, dollies, that's what they say here. So that's for the body work. Somebody sold it kind of like on Finish eBay or Amazon or whatever, you know, where you can just put stuff up online to sell. These were like never used, so I'll be using this to get the body of the Viva and the Ford straight. These are, I got them from also the Finnish kind of eBay called Tori. I got these for 99 euros. They're, from what I read online, they're like the lowering springs for the V6 Ford. What we have, but we have the V4, which these will be like the original springs. I'm thinking I might cut up the springs on the car, the old springs, and leave these for the day when we find a V640 Ford. So then we'll, you know, these will, I think it was like 35 millimeters that these lower the V6 Ford front. And then also we'll need to raise the rear. Also got this for a Christmas present. Gonna be able to see now. So that worked as expected. This thing has a few holes in it, so we'll have to take it to a good welder guy. I might take the other one off of the smaller axle and see if it's in better condition. But this would still have to be changed. This part, which comes to the anti-roll bar thingy that the smaller one doesn't have. So I'll have to see and figure out stuff. But the Sawzall did it. We got the thing out. And yeah, it was pretty stuck on there. So now on to the next one. So I took the right side valve cover off. And I think I found the problem what made the sound. Found these pieces from inside. Oh, whoops. There goes my light. Looks like it could be a valve stem seal, maybe. I'll have to see if I can put the camera somewhere see if all of them have the seal or where is it coming from. But I think these pieces are the problem because they jumped around and made the noise. I hope, since that would be the easiest fix, to get new valve stem seals, take the head off, maybe change them, put everything back together. Yeah, well, I'll see. Yeah, the last one seems to be missing the seal, right? So yeah, I guess I'll have to buy new valve stem seals, and I'll have to take the heads off. What else should I change while I'm being there? Maybe, yeah. Well, the valve springs, they look okay, but maybe I could change them at the same time. I think that's about what we're gonna be able to do right now. We'll have to buy some stuff, valve stem seals. Then I'll have to start on the brakes for the Viva. I'll have to get the parts welded. That'll take some time to gather some cash. But yeah, we're on the right track. And it's like there's no snow yet. We might be able to do some stuff, but we'll see how the weather goes. If we can't, then we'll just have to wait till all the snow and stuff melt, afterwards. But yeah, I guess I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.